we have to put on our patient eyes. So we have to put on the eyes of, I've never seen this place before. What is my impression, right? So we put on our patient eyes. I always tell people, especially when we get to moving into the inside, you got to look up and look down, look left and look right at every single thing, right? Look at your landscaping, look at the cleaning, the cobwebs. I'm amazed how many of the light fixtures, can lights especially, they get really cobwebby. Something you can take care of, right? What do the signs look like that you have taped up on your windows as your patients are entering, right? Do you have a birth?
Are they faded or not? I see that all the time. They're sun faded and there's a whitening Invisalign poster and it just looks old and yucky.
Yes, exactly, yep. Exactly. So standing in the parking lot, and you only need to be there for a minute or 2 or 3 minutes for each spot. But then, so then we walk into the practice. So, come up into the practice and, do your doors squeak or whatever, right? And then stand in the reception area. And again, and this is where it becomes really, really critical that you look up, you look down, you look left, and you look right. Everybody has to do that. And we just keep writing things that we see that are going to be no cost. I can clean these things, or, we have these things that need to be cleaned. The things that are going to cost less than $50, like changing light bulbs or maybe getting a new frame for a picture or something like that. And then there's going to be things that might cost more than $50, right? Things like actual decor items. Maybe we need to paint or get all new frames for several pictures, or maybe we need new artwork. It's amazing how many times I'll walk into a state-of-the-art practice and they've got, watercolors from the 1980s on their walls. And I mean, I love watercolors. I have my own art, right? But it needs to be updated every 5 to 7 years, typically.
Right.
Of course, unless there's some sentimental value, but you need to make it obvious when there is. This was painted by Dr. Sun or something like that. You need to make sure that it's very obvious why you have something that may appear dated.
And I'm going to add to that one that you said that I just want to make sure I reiterate. Put on your patient's eyes when you're doing
Absolutely.
Because clutter for me, I know at the front desk, we're doing a million things, but we've got brochures and toothbrush brochures and whitening brochures and paperwork, and put on your patient's eyes. I mean, for me, if I walk up to a cluttered desk, I'm going to wonder, is that person on top of things? If I'm asking you to follow up on a claim, are you really getting to it? We don't need to have 42 brochures for all the different services. Like, look at it from your patient's eyes, not just from what we've gotten used to.
Yeah. And Laura, you know what one of my pet peeves is all the sticky notes that I see on the front desk areas.
Yeah.
We've got them around the computers, behind the computers, because, your front desk is not just visible from the front desk. Oftentimes there's a walkout area, walkout station, and they're seeing the behind the scenes part, right? They're seeing what is actually happening behind your computer monitor because they're standing behind you now.
Right.
So each one of those areas where a patient might be standing, the whole team has to stand and add this to their list.
Right.
Something else that we really need to keep in mind, and this will go throughout the practice, but it's most important in my book, my view, I should say. It's most important at the front desk and in the operatories, and that's about horizontal space and making sure that your horizontal space is clear. Here's the thing about horizontal space. Even if it's pristinely clean, if there's stuff on your horizontal space, it reads as dirty. So that's really important to remember in the treatment rooms, especially, but even at the front desk. If you have a lot of, like you said, brochures and, personal photos, I'm all about having 1 or 2 personal photos, but when I see 6 or 7 personal photos, I start to ask team members, pick your favorite 1 or 2, and that's what you need to have as your inspiration to get through your day. But please keep that clutter back, keep that down. And I'm all about celebrating, family and that kind of thing. I love mine, of course, but I think that it tends to get overdone. Cut out cartoons. I hate seeing cut out
Mhm.
cartoons in a dental office.
And I'm going to add old magazines, a million
Yes.
magazines, your coffee
Yes.
table in areas, it shouldn't be old magazines, and have a rack to put them in where they can hang. We don't,
100%.
yeah.